It's Christine from the channel Christine and Celeste, and today I will do a video in a couple of parts. I think I can't do it in one go. It's a video response to Shuffling Fate to Jessica, and she did the September Deck Love on Instagram, and I discovered it on Katie Flowers' channel. She did a video about it because, like me, she doesn't really use Instagram that much. So this is my video response. The first 22 questions are about the major arcanas themed. You match a deck to the theme of the major arcana. So let's start with this, with the Fool, the most fun childlike deck. Now, I only have one, so that was easy. And it's the Inner Child cards. By Isha and Mark Lerner. Now they're all linked to a fairy tale. It's an absolutely wonderful deck for younger people. It's a great deck to get into the image and get on with the story. You make your own story. It's very innocent, childlike, light. But, you know, it's not fluffy. It's earthy at the same time that it's linked to spirit. The elements are really well represented. They use crystals for earth. There. Which I like. One of the first ones to do that. It's an older deck, and you can brush up on your fairy tales while you're reading it. It's just a wonderful deck. The second one, it's the Magician, the most magical, powerful deck. Now, I have a few. The thing is, you know, I could have shown a few in every category, but obviously, which sometimes I do. I show a couple in a category, but honestly, this would have been a 4-hour video, so I had to pick one, and one that really came on top of others for magical, this sense that when you look at the card, you think it's magical. It's the Tarot of the Sidhe. Every card, to me, you enter a magic word. And the book explains it really well. It's just a very different tarot. Mine is trimmed. They had all these big black borders, but you know, untrimmed was fine too, really. Look at these colors. The colors and the drawings to me are amazing. So this is my magical deck. This is one too that can be used to manifest. Look at that. Tarot of the Sidhe. Next one, the most intuitive deck. Now, one of them, I've got two here. One of them, the Raven's Prophecy. It's because of the black back and the minimalist picture on them. I find that it triggers the intuition. It's like a black crystal ball. I really compare it to this. Now, I have a trimmed version where I took everything off, all these orange borders. Why? Black would have been so nice, so there's, you know, the picture would have carried on. But anyway, and I took the names off and I use it as an oracle. So it's one of the decks that I have two versions, one as a tarot and the other one as an oracle. Now, I could have used oracles in this prompt, but I had enough tarot decks to cover it. And look at that, fire, that 5 of Wands. You feel the heat, right? just I find it a wonderful, different, one of a kind deck that I'm so glad I have in my collection. The other one is, if you followed my channel, it won't be a surprise to you, and it's intuitive because the images just speak to me and the book doesn't. And that's why I had to rely on my intuition. But as soon as I saw the first card, and I remember the moment, you know, when I saw that the first time that deck, and I went, wow, I'm not leaving this place without having this, and I left the place with it. I was ready to give all my tarot decks to keep this one. So it's the Elemental Tarot, and it just speaks to me. It's multi-layered. There's sometimes 2 or 3 images in one, especially in the minors. The minors are just fantastic. So are the majors, but the minors are very well illustrated to me. You see all the different layers. You have a different story unfolding in each card. And that's simple. That's my deck. And the Oracle of the Radiant Sun is wonderful too. It's wonderful. They're just wonderful decks. So, the next one is the most nurturing healing deck. Now, of course, you know, I could have put my Aura Soma in it, but I kept my Aura Soma for another one. So this one is a soft voice, as we say. It's the Vision Quest. I take it, I use it whenever I am feeling a bit down, because I know this will be like a big hug. It will wrap me in that beautiful blanket they make, and just, it doesn't mean it's fluff though. Some cards are a bit difficult too, but I don't know, it's the way it's drawn, and the feel of it is okay. It's okay. Oops. Just a soft voice of a deck. And obviously you can do healing with these too. I've got other healing decks. I mean, it's never ending, but I had to pick one. The Emperor, the most assertive, dependable deck. Now, this was the most difficult for me because I was trying to find this, deck. And the only ones I found really, apart from the Source, and then I saw, is the Source an Emperor deck? I'm not sure. See, I really, it didn't quite fit with the Emperor for me, with the Source. But it's got that trait though. So I didn't pick the Source at the end. I picked more decks that were created by women. But that's what I felt like. And the first one, funny enough, is the Tower of the Crone for an Emperor. But I chose that because these decks puts you back into your place. You know, if you're not really in your body or in your mind, and it just it puts you where you should be. And that's why I chose it as the sign of the Emperor. You know, the stability. You can't be stable if you're all over the place. This deck puts you back where you should be it high, low, whatever, but it puts you there. And I like that. It's straight to the point, in your face, not very kind, based on colors, which I like. The colors are very important. Each color was chosen for a specific use in this deck, and that I really like. Oops, I'm losing the picture. Just blunt, but not in an aggressive manner. You want the truth? I'm gonna show you, right? This card just scares me. It's beautiful and it scares me at the same time. See? And this one, yeah. So, funny enough, a Crone deck for the Emperor. And the other one is the Gypsy Palace Tarot. Now, I love this deck. I love the rich orange, yellow, red colors in it. I'm having a little difficulty because of the size of the picture. I believe this deck the cards should be bigger. I don't know if it's because of my eyesight or anything, but sometimes it takes me a while to see what's on the picture. However, when I insist and I get into it, it's in your face. It's blunt, the same. It does the same. It's obviously more complex than the Tower of the Crone, but it has the same effect on me. It's just like, there you are. You wanted the answer, you got the answer, right? It seems to do it in a more elegant way, but don't be fooled. See, I got this card once, and oh, that was so powerful. I still vibrate when I see this card. So don't be fooled by the appearance of it, where they all have nice dresses and there's little birds floating, and you know, and it seems like fun, and not to me. So you know, it's like the Ceccoli, Nicoletta Ceccoli. Some people see it as childlike, and others see it as a more disturbing, let's say. So you can project what you want in your cards too, obviously. The Hierophant, most traditional spiritual deck. Now I went with traditional because, as you know, I'm not a Rider-Waite fan. Not that I don't like it. It just it's the Suit of Swords that just bother me. I find it way too negative. And every time it gets to me that it's so negative, so that's why I don't use it much. But I saw this clone of the Rider-Waite, a solicitor's friend, a friend of mine who's a solicitor, that's more what I wanted to say, had that deck, and I looked at it for a long time, and it took me years to buy it because it's so traditional, it's so Christian, it's so, and I didn't think that I would resonate with it. Yeah, it won me over, and it's the Golden Tarot, the one by Cat Black. First of all, I think it's one of the most beautiful products I've ever seen. It's just it shuffles like butter, and the cards, they're not budging. I mean, as you saw, probably my Gypsy Palace is chipping really badly on the sides now. Now you can't see with this slide, but maybe you saw it before. Well, I mean, I don't mind after a lot of use, but it wasn't used that much. This one's not moving and it's been used. So it's just so traditional and it's just so not me. Yet, it's a deck I love, and I tried to sell it once, didn't sell it, and so on. But why would I want to sell it? It's crazy. Why did I try that? It's more quirky. If you look in backgrounds, what's happening, it's more quirky than you would think it is, right? So this is my Hierophant deck, really. I don't think I have more traditional apart from the Marseille I have. But it's more Rider-Waite, obviously. Look at that. Look at these here. There's always something very quirky on each picture. So yeah, it's angels, it's, look at that, there's always an angel somewhere. Very religious, very traditional, but in a nice way. Maybe, I don't know, maybe because it was a collage deck, it's less, you know, I don't know, heavy. I don't know, there's something about this deck that I really love. The Lovers, most romantic, beautiful deck. Now, I don't have romantic decks. I don't like doing love readings. When myself I go to any reader, I don't want to know about my love life. This is something that is personal to me, that I don't want to know how it's going to go, that I make every day. So I don't like reading about love questions for other people either. So I can't go with romantic at all. However, beautiful, I had to pick one, and I think for the whole thing, the whole package, the whole feel of it, the cardstock, the pictures, it has to be the Pagan Otherworlds. Funny enough, it's not my favorite, right? And to tell you the truth, I'm not bonding with it. But when I look at it, I'm like, this is the most beautiful deck. It's delicate. It's, you can see that money was put into these cards. There's nothing wrong with it. I can't fault it. You see what I mean? I can't fault it. Of course, it's got the swords too that are a bit negative, but not all. Look at this. It is just an exquisite deck, and I can't wait to bond with it. And because we're getting into fall or autumn, I might, although I don't really pick normally seasonal decks, which is more the next questions, seasonal decks. I don't really do this, but I'm tempted to try and see what seasonal decks I would use for different seasons, as you know, to go further into my tarot practice. So fall or winter, this one, obviously. Yeah, Pagan Otherworlds, most beautiful. The deck you love and hate the most, right? There's three. It's because they all represent a frustration I have with publishers, not really with tech creators, and I don't know who makes the decision about cardstock size, whatever. But all of them, I have a frustration about something. So we start with the Tarot of the Silicon Dawn. This is one of the most, how can I say, different deck I've seen around. And I always try when I buy decks that it's not a clone of something I already have, because I don't see the point, right? It's funny, it's crude, it's out there, it's beautiful, but it's way too small. I mean, next to the Pagan Otherworlds, right? You see what I mean? It's more playing card size. And I don't understand it, because it's a tarot. I know that there's not many fans of this deck, and it's been on hold in my shall I trade it or not. But at the same time, I don't have a deck like this. It's cartoonish, yet it's in your face too. It's very modern. That's what people would do now. You know, people don't sit on thrones making decisions, do they? No, they go out and get drunk and party and, you know, and things. and this is all in it. This is in it. So, and there are cards too that are embossed. I don't know if you, most of them are. If you look at the devil, I don't know if you can see it. The devil's got a wheel. Yeah, you can see it there. See that wheel that's embossed in it, for example. It's just beautiful product, but way, way, way too small. You've got a crazy amount of cards. I can't remember many just doing this. It's a low scarabeo, so it means that low scarabeo can actually do embossed cards. Look at that. But why it was decided to make them so small is something I do not understand. So this is one of my big frustrations. Now, I have remade already one tarot deck that for me was way too small, but I can't do this one because I can't do all the special effects this has, like this. I mean, you get a card like this, right? Let me see if I can show you. Look at that. It's just for a card like this, I would buy the deck, you know what I mean? You can't see the emboss. There. I have to hit the light, right? Yeah. But anyway, you see what I mean? There. A frustration that it is so small. I hope one day they will reprint it and then you have black cards, completely black, just embossed. You won't see that. Oh yeah, here. See? Why is there not to like? So how frustrated am I with this? Extremely, extremely. I want to love it. Yeah, I think I need 2 pair of glasses on to see what on earth is happening in each card. Frustrating. The next one is for another reason. Same reason, but something different too. It's the Tarot del Fuego. I love this tarot. It's quirky. It's nice. I've trimmed it. Let me put that back. I've trimmed it. But it's a Fournier deck. And Fournier, what they do, they've used the same guide, little white book for the decks for the past 20 years, and they've never changed a word of it. So you don't have any description from the creator, or actually they are a little bit attuned to the cards, nothing. And the cards are too small too. I trimmed them, and even smaller. And it's just like, come on. It's obviously all cards are artist cards, right? But some are more than others. And you can see that these are paintings. And to make them so small is just what were Fournier thinking about. And then the little white book, I just threw it away. I've got the same, I showed it on video one day, a deck I bought 20 years ago. It's the exact same little white book. I mean, I have the proof. So, yeah, that's a frustration. I love it and I hate it for the format they gave it. And the last one is one of my most loved decks, is the Tarot of the Sacred Feminine. I adore this deck. However, there is an issue with the portrayal of men. And although if you read about it, you understand more what they mean. So that's a frustration that the male is not represented in a correct manner. The second one is this. It's like a Barbie doll type. They wipe out the sexual organs type. Well, they do, because with men they just get it off. You know, it's this puritanism. That's and it's not too bad on this deck, but others are even worse. Look, it's Barbie and Ken, you know. It's a shame. I just look at this. Just for pictures like this, I adore this deck. I can go. I'm with him, with her. I'm in that forest and we're drumming. I tell you, I get into this card. So I love the sceneries in this deck and the backs. But yeah, you know, all women are thin and have beautiful bodies, and when they're naked, they're not real bodies, they're Barbie dolls. So that's a frustration, because it might be the divine feminine, but the divine feminine has all shapes and forms, but not in this deck, and I find that a shame. So moving on, most encouraging supportive deck for strength, and I got one in mind straight away. It's the Fifth Tarot. Now, I came across the Fifth Tarot in London in a meetup group, and I bought it straight away, and since then it's been a constant in my, oops, the sun is upside down. It's been a constant in my life. It's got an extra suit of lotuses. The book is so nice that it gives you suggestions, healing suggestions. And this is how I see tarot. Tarot should make you go further, should heal you, should give you an answer for you to get over a hurdle, or heal, if you like to use this term. Oh, they're all over the place. I need to put it right again. The swords are feathers. I like that. You know, it's less getting. But once again, it's not fluff. See, the apprentice of feathers, you don't want to be there, right? So some are harsh too, but there is sacred knowledge in this deck that it takes you, and then it makes you go further. There's really, oh, sorry about that. I must have been playing with it upside down. And it's got I'm a dragon. So yeah, just a wonderful, supportive deck. Right. The next one is the Hermit, decks you only use for yourself. 2 of them. I talked about it before, the Nicoletta Ceccoli. Well, first of all, I don't do many readings for others anymore. I did for a while professionally, but I don't much. So pretty much most of the tarot are mine. However, there are decks that people can't even touch, go near. And this is one of them, because this is mirror work for me. This is my deck. This is like having my mirror in front of me, and I choose this deck, and I pick cards, and I look at myself with it. So this is very personal. I could never do any divination type with this deck. I've got many others I can do it with. And the inspiration and going back to childhood is very interesting with these two. So only me. There are other decks, obviously, but I know this one is one of them. And it's funny because I went to see a friend and I brought a few decks to her to show her, you know, different decks I had. And the Ceccoli was supposed to be in the bag, and somehow it didn't make it to the bag. And I came back and it was just sat on the table. It didn't want to be shown. So, but it's a wonderful deck. Just pretty special. It's pretty special. And the other one is for another reason, is because I use it for ancestral work. And it's the Shining Tribe deck. And it's wonderful, wonderful for ancestral work. So both of these decks I work on my first chakras with, especially this one with the root chakra and the past, healing the past. Fantastic deck for this. It's multi-layered, you see, there's every level, there's something to look at and decipher, and it's just wonderful, wonderful deck. Frustration too, this one's too small. I trimmed it, but the pictures are too small too. Look at that. Oh. It makes me love the earth, you know, when I look at this deck. It makes me want to be here. Yeah. So, wonderful book too by Rachel Pollock. Great deck. So the next one is most expensive deck now. There's only, I do buy expensive decks, but what stops me is the postal fees, because for a couple of decks I've had to pay the same postal fee as the price of the deck, and then it gets very expensive, doesn't it? But there's a couple of decks I've done it for. However, this one is because it's independently produced. There have been 2 decks so far, plus one oracle, and when you get them, then you get into the books, then you get into the oils, you get into the essences, you get into the whole thing, and before you know it, it gets very expensive. So the tarot itself it's the Aura Soma tarot. So I've got the first one I got was the New Aeon tarot in, I know the year is somewhere, but anyway, it was the first edition anyway, 2005 edition, and it's in order because I'm working with it, and it's got the bottle back, right? So that's the Aura Soma bottles and a normal tarot at the front, and then you've got the major a set of major arcanas, let's say accomplished. Let's summarize it like this, and then you've got ascended masters, archangels. Each color, everything is so important because they mirror the back of the bottle. So there's a whole philosophy with it. Just this is a lifetime love, but the most expensive deck, because I've had to get the extra cards every time they came out, every time a bottle was born, and then I got some bottles and I got the books, and then I bought from someone on Facebook the first edition of the Aura Soma tarot. It's this one with, there's the bottle, right? There's a picture underneath, and then there's the tarot card equivalent. So there's 3 pictures. And I like it because the picture at the bottom here represents the essence that's at the top. And it helps me learning it, basically. So it's a good teaching, but you know, you add the price of this with all the books, with the essences, with the shipping, everything, the books, yep. It's never ending. So but I really wanted this first tarot set from Aura Soma, and I believe, and I'm not sure, there's a third one. Well, I mean, Mike Booth said that he was thinking about another tarot deck, so I will always follow these and buy them because it's healing, and that's how I see the tarot. And it's not just physical healing; it's mind healing. It's you can do projection work to heal your past, your future, your present, and I find this one works fantastically well too. So I got this one, and then obviously the Oracle came out, Farben der Engel, which at first sight I fell in love with, and I've been trying to, you know, talk about it as much as possible without trying to bore people too much. But I'll just get a couple of cards. It's basically the bottles that are shaken and a picture was taken of the liquid. So when you look at, for example, 58, it still corresponds to the tarot. It still corresponds to the essence. It's just a different picture of it. You can read it also in a more intuitive way. It's a work of art, the quality of the picture, the quality of the cardstock, the fact that she put the English version of the booklet for free on her site. All that makes me love this deck. But with all these, you know, 3 decks and all the books and everything that goes with it, and the essences, the bottles you see behind me, all that makes it the most expensive, because it's going to be never ending. One day I'll have the whole collection of bottles. So before my account gets wiped out, I admit it's my most expensive purchase. And the last one I'm going to do for this part of the video, because I've run out of space, it's number 12, Justice, the most honest direct deck. Now, that's, once again, you know, it was difficult to pick. What do you pick? Obviously, you're not going to keep a dishonest deck. There's some decks that don't want to talk to you. There's decks that don't gel with you, and they're just the answer, you can't decipher it. Some decks are so complex that you can't understand it. So, obviously, but I believe that most of the decks I have will tell me the truth, really, and will honestly talk to me. But one that's honest, direct, and, you know, is just a general, more general deck is the Morgan Greer. Now, I had the big version, and because I stopped reading for people, I stopped using it. It's one deck I used to read for people for, because it's a pleasant deck to read with. It goes straight to the point. There's no fluff. It's not too spiritual. It's not too earthy. It's just a well-balanced deck to read for people. The colors are nice. The people look okay. It's obviously a Rider-Waite-Smith clone. So that's why it gets my Justice, because it's well balanced. It's okay. It's honest, and I still use it though. When I meet someone, you know, someone new during the day, and I pick a card to describe them. I do that when I go to conferences, you know, spiritual conferences. I always take this deck with me in the tin. That's why the tin is so perfect. I'll show you the tin. It's great tin. And I put it in my bag, right? And when the speaker is ready to start his talk or her talk, I pick a card to see who I've got facing me. It's always interesting. It always tells me just a good all-rounder, this deck. Like some people would say, the Rider-Waite-Smith. I just prefer this depiction myself. So I will stop here. I still have a lot of questions to go through. But I need to set up the rest of the cards, and I'll see you in part 2.